starting here. It's a new year. I figured I'd do things a little differently, alright? The first thing I'm going to do is once a week, I'm going to try to point out someone who got me from, like, not playing guitar into playing guitar. So you guys all know this guys all know me as a chugging ass motherfucker, right? But when I learned how to play guitar as an adult. And there's one album that when I go back in time, there's a couple of them actually, that changed how I looked at music. The very first time I heard my own rock and roll, not the Christian gospel shit my mom was listening to, was Metallica. That was my ground floor. And then Injustice for All came out, and I was like, "Oh, me likey." So of course, you listen to old Metallica and you realize it was awesome. Still is to this day. I love listening to old Metallica. And then I just kind of did nothing but listen to Metallica. I didn't care about metal. I just liked Metallica, so I listened to a lot of Metallica, like enough where I annoyed everybody nuts. Drove everybody crazy. Then this band came out called Guns N' Roses. You might have heard of them. They're a little band that stuck around for a little while, had a couple hits. Had a kind of famous guy that played guitar for him called Slash. Epic Drunk. Played guitar alright. But their album, Output Destruction, ooh, man, that was a pretty good doozy. So now we got two records that really changed my life. Alright? And that was like just so cool. And then Cowboys from Hell came out by Pantera, and I was like, oh, this is some next level shit. Did nothing but listen to that record. It was a cassette tape, and it never left my little boombox. I listened to it all the damn time. And then I was making fun of this song I heard on the radio, and I was taking an epic shit one day, like a big freaking turd, like kind of makes your butthole go, you might regret pushing this one out. So I was singing a parody of the song, and I was calling it More Than Turds, and I was singing about the uncomfortable situation that my asshole couldn't seem to deal with pushing that turd out. And that song subsequently is you get the idea, right? Yeah. Wholehearted, who farted. I was a genius back then. I'm just gonna put that out there. So I made fun of that band infinitely. Because you couldn't get away from those two freaking songs on the radio. Chicks dug it way too much. Drove me bananas. And then I heard a song. I was like, damn. And so I was like, oh, dude, that was their first release off the record. I was like, why did they keep releasing that? So I had to go check the album out. Next thing you know, I'm buying Pornografitti. And when you just hear that... To this day, that still makes me happy. It just does. I love Extreme. Nuno Bettencourt, I love that guy's playing. He is fun to listen to play guitar. He's just freaking good. And I know a lot of people give him shit because he was an Extreme. But really, listen to Extreme's rhythms, their leads. The guy's a genius. Only regret I have in life when I talk about Extreme is I have to talk about the one time I met him that just is horrible. I'd like to meet Nuno as an adult. When I met him, like, I was a stupid fanboy, probably way more obnoxious than I needed to be. Obnoxious. It's the end of the day, folks. My English is about to get butchered like a motherfucker. But I hadn't picked up a guitar yet. So here I'm talking to this guitar god. I don't even know how to tune a guitar at this point. I've never even touched one. I just know that the album Pornografitti changed my life. I was itching to play guitar so bad. And something that Nuno said to me scared me off. Because I had told him, I don't play guitar, but I want to because I listen to you. And he literally looked at me and said, if you want to play like this, you're going to put a lot of time in. You're not just going to play like this. And that just killed my mood. I was like, I can't play guitar now. I mean, the guy who wrote the stuff basically told me I'm never going to be able to play like this. And he literally didn't speak another word to me after he said that, by the way. Nuno, if you're watching this, he was kind of a dick. But, you know, and he was bigger than the devil at that point, you know, at Portland, Maine Mall. Ooh, he probably did not want to get out of bed for that one, by the way. So, yeah, I listened to the album and just riff after riff after riff. I was like, ah. And I kept beating it into my head. Man, I can't believe I'll never be able to play that stuff. So, fast forward to this whole So we get to that point, right? I learned how to play that in like a day. And my buddy was like, dude, you have a natural knack for this. Like, you're playing Entertainment, the whole song from start to finish, like, in one day, and you already know how to tune the damn guitar. So I was like, well, maybe I'm gifted. I just gotten off drugs, folks. When this had all happened, I was getting clean. And I clearly weren't thinking right. So I went and bought the Pornografitti tab book, which a lot of you don't even know what the fuck that is. That's how we used to learn. That and Guitar World magazine. But Guitar World magazine, anybody who bought it back in the day knows if they were doing anything that took talent, the tabs would be all fucked up. So I went and bought the official one. That probably Nuno never went over, but it says it did. You know, so what the hell, right? I was like, that's not that bad. Granted, you're talking a long time ago, like 25, 26 years ago when I picked up a guitar. It took me a minute to get there. What was that? I drove people bananas. I did that for hours and hours and hours to get that. Just that part right there. Because I wouldn't go any further, because someone told me for some reason that if you get stuck, just do it over and over and over again. It will just naturally come to you. Granted, they were right. But there was a little gap where there was a little bit of where homicide and suicide were getting ready to cross paths before I figured that shit out. You know, you learn how to play yourself that, and you're like, ah. But that song that got me, man, get the funk out. I'm gonna go fuck with that bitch. I find out that really wasn't that hard. Funny story. So I had a Gibson Explorer, like a beat to shit one. I bought it at a pawn shop. Gibson's, the G string never stays in tune. So never sounded like it was in tune. Drove me insane. So I borrowed my buddy's Charvel, and I was like, to learn how to go from a regular chord down. Took a minute. Any of y'all who ever had to learn that, you know what I'm talking about. Because your hand doesn't seem natural to put your hand like that. That right there, it was so nice. It's like, this is not hard. And after that, that's when Nuno becomes an asshole. Yeah, that took some time, right? Next thing I know, I just put time into it, and I could play that. I can't play that stuff as good as I used to be able to. Oddly enough, all these years later, all this experience I have playing, I've actually become a worse guitar player, if you can believe that. My skills today suck. But when I was learning, oh man, I can play some awesome shit. Yeah, like Pornografitti just had riffs and riffs and riffs, man. Riffs. Fucking thing is just riff after riff after riff. Nuno was rock and roll. He was funky. Very percussive and ridiculously good. So, next thing you know, when you start playing guitar, you start to learn how to write. I'm going to write songs. So you learn how to write. So So I used to write stuff like that. Of course, now you all know me as someone who chugs my ass off, but I've gotten old and lazy, apparently. I wish I had more extreme riffs, but I'd have to sit down and woodshed like a motherfucker to play more of that for you. That's it. The album that just, it was my thing. And to this day, I put it on. It still makes me so happy. Seeing them do that whole album on their 20th anniversary tour in Portland, Maine, made me so happy. It makes me happy. That record just makes me happy. All these years later, if I'm having a bad day, I put it in. It just makes me happy. And it makes me understand that the guitar can be part of something fucking amazing. Nuno Bettencourt is brilliant. Like, me mentioning him in the same words with my guitar playing should never happen. But you know what? I love the guy. I really do. His playing is phenomenal. And I would not be here playing this guitar today if it was not for Pornografitti and quite possibly my resilience to want to prove that I could play guitar even though Nuno told me I might as well just not try. Which is hilarious. I'm sure today he'd probably go, I said what? Shit. Because, I mean, you see him and he just seems like the coolest, nicest guy in interviews and stuff. Who knows? Maybe it was a bad day. I don't know. But you know what? I learned how to play guitar just the same. And it really, Nuno is what makes guitar fun. Nuno is the fun guitar player. Granted, he's got more talent when he takes a shit if he was to play a guitar just to bend a string like, breaks one off, than most of us have trying to play our best. But he's just good. Like, really, really good. So if you don't know who Nuno Bettencourt is, and you've never listened to the album Pornografitti by Extreme, go do it. Do yourself a favor. If you don't play guitar, but you've always like, I'd kind of like to, maybe it'll be your catalyst. If not, you'll just be listening to a fantastic record that gets, with the hard rock and heavy metal guys, gets a little bit of a cloud because of More Than Words and Wholehearted, or More Than Turds and Who Farted. Depends on how you look at it. Yeah, I was that guy, and I turned around and actually, I love that record, and I have no shame telling people I love that band. They're just good, and their songs are fun, and the talent in that band is ridiculous. So, go check it out. Pornografitti by Extreme. Guitar player, Nuno Bettencourt. Gear used today, Mark Tremonti, USA Wood Library, Paul Reed Smith, Boss Katana. That's right, I just did all that with a Boss Katana, using a Fortin Hex drive just to tighten shit up a little bit. Curling cables, and a zero talent fat man strumming on a guitar. Alrighty. Y'all be good. I'll catch you later. Like, share, subscribe. Follow me on Facebook and on Instagram. Truck Driver Sean. Keep music evil. Bring that up to the children. Like, share, subscribe. Ciao. See ya.